Look, it's glowing.
The energy is incredible.
Are those hobbits?
Perhaps we must investigate.
You know, have you ever really stopped to think about where our oldest stories come from? I'm talking about those epic tales. You know, the ones with strange, non-human beings that fill our myths and legends. Well, today, we're diving deep into this.
They have been searching for evidence of the spread of Homo sapiens through the islands. Instead, they found something, a strange skeleton from at least 70,000 years ago. So long before our species reached this far, from Africa.
Creatures from our favorite books weren't just made up. What if they were based on real beings who actually walked this planet? It really is like two worlds colliding. You know, on one hand, you've got all our fantasy lore jam-packed with different kinds of peoples. And then on the other hand, you have the actual fossil record, which gives us hard proof that our planet was once home to many different species of human. And this right here, this is where those two worlds slam right into each other. All right, so for our first case file, we're heading to Indonesia, and we're going to look at a discovery that was so shocking, so out of left field, that scientists immediately gave it a very, very famous nickname, the real-life hobbits. So the fancy scientific name is Homo floresiensis, but what does that really mean? Well, put simply, they were an ancient type of human, but the thing that made them totally unique was their incredibly small size. And listen, when I say small, I am not kidding. The average adult stood only about 3 feet tall. I mean, just picture that for a second. That's about the height of a toddler today. This wasn't a myth. This was a real, distinct human species that lived and thrived for thousands of years. Just incredible. Okay, now this is where it gets really wild. Look at how these parallels just line up perfectly. Mythical hobbits? They live in the Shire. Homo floresiensis lived on the island of Flores in Indonesia. Both of them are about 3 feet tall. And of course, the nickname that scientists gave them right away, the Hobbit. I mean, come on, the resemblance is just, it's uncanny. Okay, let's move on to our next case file, because this is where the idea really starts to build. We're going to travel from those warm islands of Indonesia all the way to the cold, rugged landscapes of Ice Age Europe. And we're going to see if we can unmask the real-life inspiration for trolls, the Neanderthals. I want you to just picture the classic image of a troll from, say, Northern European folklore. You know the one, they're powerful, kind of brutish, living in caves up in the mountains, sort of separate from the world of people. Just hold that image in your mind for a second. Now, let's look at what we know about Neanderthals. They had really distinct faces, things like heavy brow ridges. They had these incredibly powerful, stocky bodies, which were just perfectly built for the cold. They totally thrive in Ice Age Europe, and this part is absolutely crucial. They lived alongside our own ancestors, Homo sapiens, for thousands of years. The descriptions are starting to sound pretty darn similar, aren't they? And you can see right here just how long that overlap was. We're talking about at least 20,000 years where our direct ancestors shared the same landscape with another kind of human. They would have seen them, they would have interacted with them. This is where you get this idea of cultural memory, this concept that stories told from person to person can preserve real events for millennia. It's not a huge leap to imagine how tales of these powerful, cave-dwelling people could have been passed down generation after generation, eventually twisting and turning into the troll legends we know today. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean? Well, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, some of our most powerful, most enduring myths aren't just pulled from thin air. They're echoes from our own deep history. Echoes of a time when our world was much more diverse, a time when we weren't the only humans out there. So, let's just nail this down. The really crucial point is this. Our planet's history is full of different kinds of humans. Homo floresiensis gives us this absolutely stunning, real-world parallel to a hobbit, and that long shared history between our ancestors and the powerful Neanderthals, that could totally be the seed that grew into our legends of trolls. It just goes to show you that the fossil record, that real science, can be every bit as magical and wondrous as any fantasy novel. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. You know, if hobbits and trolls could be these ancestral memories of real human relatives, what other myths are out there? What other legends of giants or monsters or mysterious people of the forest are actually just forgotten pieces of our own deep family history, buried not in some ancient book, but maybe in our very DNA? Like and subscribe to learn more about mysteries of the past. Share now.